Hello everyone, welcome to your new moon in Pisces reading. This is a quiet moon. It's a very fertile, if not the most fertile moment of the month. This new moon is a space for dreaming, for surrendering, for planting intentions rather than pushing forward in action. And if you are not signed up for my $9.99 a month Substack subscription, I recommend, because all these things I'm talking to you about and then also bringing the cards in is part of what you receive weekly. You get so much, what's going on each day, the energy of the moon each day, how to nourish, how to breathe, and all these beautiful alignments and transmissions to help you stay centered each day. So wow, I love this card, 10 of Swords. The Swords, if you don't already know, as it applies to the tarot, is the suit that has to do with your mind and thinking. And this is right before we get into like the Page, the Queen, the King, and these types of things. And so this is not me being a psychic to say many of you are feeling overwhelmed. I think that's obvious. I think the whole world knows that the whole world to some degree is feeling overwhelmed. I mean, look, it's like she's falling and one hand is on her head and all these snakes are about. But I want to remind you that the snake is a powerful symbol of transformation. You're not lost, you're not falling, you're not losing it. But any time that we are in a state of transformation, when what is no longer resonating for us needs to go and what is coming for us is not yet here, we can feel this way. So I think it's just so interesting that this came out right away at the beginning of your reading, because yeah, if you're like, oh my gosh, that's me, I can really relate to that. But this new moon, because I always put this reading out the day before, so you might be watching this on Wednesday, but maybe you're watching this on Thursday, doesn't really matter. But there's this like deep emotional and spiritual reflection going on with this new moon. It's actually helping people to release what's dissolving and to listen to, let's just say, like the quieter guidance of your intuition and soul. So if you're feeling like this, it's time to get quiet. It's time to carve out some space, like no agenda, no figuring anything out, just carving out space to be and to breathe. And I'm telling you, 5 minutes of that can really change your life. This is also a powerful time this week with this new moon for visioning, for imagining the life you want to create, for setting intentions that come from your heart rather than the mind specifically. Beautiful card, Divine Feminine. So even if you're a man watching this reading, we all have the feminine and the masculine within us. And now as I take a deeper look, that is an Ankh behind her. So we have some powerful Egyptian vibes coming through. I still have 1, maybe 2 cabins left available on my Egypt retreat. We have 10 people booked, including myself. I think our limit is 14, depending on single and double shared rooms. So if you've been feeling Egypt, this is the time to jump on board on an amazing retreat. But the Divine Feminine is coming in because the feminine is the moon. The left side of our body is that feminine moon receiving side, and this is a new moon reading. So it only makes sense that this divine feminine energy is coming in to ground you, to remind you of who you truly are. It's asking you to carve out stillness, some time for meditation and contemplation, because sometimes we get busy, we get overwhelmed, and we just feel a little lost. And if you notice, she's even like sitting, to me it feels like she's sitting on the ground outside, and there's all these plants and things blooming behind her. And I know some of you still have deep winter, but how can you earth, how can you ground, how can you get connected to what is real and what is true, so you can kind of get out of that overwhelmed mind space that might have been having you here, there, and everywhere lately. And so this week with this new moon in Pisces, people are also feeling heightened sensitivity. So there's a lot happening in the way of creativity, compassion. I could even say, spiritual connection. But I mean, of course, right? These are always things. But as you know, the new moon is a time of planting seeds. So even if you've been feeling overwhelmed, the question is, how can you root and ground? How can you be still and present so that the clarity and the answers you're seeking can come? I'm going to ask for another card over here, kind of to talk about your very immediate future as you're planting these new seeds. King of Swords. Wow. So again, we've got more swords. Now the King of Swords is kind of like right there at the fullness, at the completion. So what this is telling me, and you'll see it is a similar energy, right? There's like, you know, floating people and things, but this time she's not falling with her hand on her head. The energy is starting to, I'm realizing that's not super easy to see for you. The energy is starting to organize, and there's no longer snakes, but versions of herself as this being, this person, you, begins to organize your energy this week. So for me, I noticed that new moons, I tend to feel very quiet and introspective. Sometimes my emotions aren't super vibrant. I might, you know, just be doing more shadow work, more grief work, and that could be for you too. But it's also a beautiful time to cocoon and to go deeper into transformation. And something we're not fully covering today, but you probably know we have a spring equinox coming on Saturday. So as you prepare for this new moon, whether you're watching this around Wednesday or Thursday, on Saturday, you've got the equinox where the light balances evenly, and it actually is a bit of a portal opportunity, this equinox that's coming up, as Mercury is moving direct and right around the corner. So this new moon's kind of like a breath before a major turning point where things begin moving forward again. So if you feel at all like, I don't like the word stuck, but feel how you feel is valid. If you've been feeling stuck, stagnant, not sure of your next moves, trust that you're in a little bit of a window, like a void. And of course, now we have this card saying slow it down. If you have any moonstone, some people do. Moonstone is actually man-made, but I still really love it. I think it's sparkly and magical. But why do we discount things that are man-made? Yes, some things that are man-made lose their original essence, but some things that are man-made are, as we know, like art, is magnetic, activating, magnificent. So if you have some moonstone, this could be a sign for you to get it out, maybe cleanse it. But I like how these 4 little moons surround this full moon. It's sort of like anchoring energy to me. See, I live in the Keys where we have homes primarily are on stilts, and you have to have your corner stilts and sometimes stilts in the middle to secure your home. And so when I see these 4 surrounding this moon, this feels like sturdy, stable energy. So here, this might be how you are feeling or been feeling. This is what you need to do, but this energy is going to organize at the end of this week and into the equinox, and take some time. You know, I was literally just saying, well, I don't think I really said it exactly, but don't push yourself, don't force decisions unless it's absolutely urgent. Just let this week be like marinating energy. You're feeling it, you're allowing it to organize, you're letting it be supported and stable. And let's see what else from this moon deck wants to be shared with you. I mean, the guidance for this new moon really is truly about rest, listening, dreaming. It's always about planting seeds. Oh, and then you're going to go for it. Okay, so I love that. So now we have a little bit of a journey here showing its way for this reading for you today. So it's like, okay, maybe you're feeling a little crazy. If you're feeling crazy, just do this. Again, no agenda. That's what my guides told me. I wanted to channel for over 10 years. And they were like, Jolie, until you're willing to sit down for just 5 minutes without trying to channel, to just quiet the mind, to ground, to breathe and be present, how do you think this is going to work? They didn't scold me, but that was my interpretation. And sure enough, once I finally disciplined or whatever myself enough to actually carve it out, 5 minutes. I didn't do it every day. I didn't worry if I missed a day, but I aimed for 4 to 5 days a week. Just that 5 minutes profoundly changed my life. And this has been coming up in all my private session readings I come into. I've been sharing this with a lot of people, and you might even be watching this after having a private session with me, and you're like, yeah, this is your reminder. Carve out a few minutes, try to get on the earth if you live somewhere where you can, and just breathe with no agenda. You've got to create the space, because sometimes, most of the time, we can't see the forest for the trees, and you're being asked to create a little space, to trust this energy is organizing, to slow it down, feel yourself fully supported, and then it's going to be so easy for you to go for it. It's just going to be like this door swings open with this equinox energy and everything that we are stepping into. So I have a second moon deck that I wanted to bring out for you for this new moon in Pisces. And ask yourself, like, what are you seeding? What are you planting? What are you dreaming? And what are you paying attention to? My instincts keep me adaptable in the face of any obstacle. I like that they brought the word instincts in. You'll see this little moon on this. Like, do you think that's a fox? I mean, I feel like that's kind of like a fox. And yeah, so, but the fox is like her friend. It doesn't look malicious. It doesn't look like a trickster, but it's hard to truly know what is going on. And there's so many realities and dimensions and timelines, and ultimately your reality is a projection of your inner world, thoughts, beliefs, emotions, and all the things. And so sometimes we just get too caught up in the mind. So this is saying to root into your instincts. I love that there's a mushroom, actually multiple. Oh my gosh, now I'm just realizing, I was focused on the image. There's mushrooms surrounding her, and there's this like stick-like energy. So once again, this is nature coming in. You're being asked to tune into the nature. And for me, I feel like instinct is in the body, right? I don't feel personally that when I have instincts, I don't feel like they're necessarily in my mind. I have like this instinct, this like feeling to move, or this feeling in my gut. So again, this rooting into the earth, this stillness, this no agenda, just carving a few minutes out for you is really potent and powerful. Let's pick a second moon card to see what else wants to be shared for you about this. Okay, oops, no, just this one. I craft my core desires with certainty and ease. Wow, so I feel like this is like the go for it energy, just we're kind of putting it over here. It's like this is maybe where you are now, and these are some things going on in your auric field around you. And both of these are very blessed and beautiful cards. So I hear the guides saying that, you know, even though this is a group reading, certain souls are drawn to these. And very many of you, if not most of you, again, this theme comes up all the time. You're meant to step into your sacred gifts. There's things for you to share, to help uplift other souls. And these are just really beautiful, blessed cards. And so desire is an interesting word, because I feel like a lot of people associate the word desire, like it kind of gets this like sexual, categorized maybe in the sexual realm. And of course it very well can be, and maybe that's why this is coming up for you, if there's something there to tune into. But what do you desire? And I mean, desire is a beautiful word that frequently is wrapped in a lot of judgment and shame. A lot of times, you know, society, for many different reasons, has kind of cut us off from thinking that desire is positive. I mean, even in like the yogic meditation traditions, it's like desire is ego, and you want to like quell your desires and control your desires. And yeah, that's good, but like this is a reading of like love. This is a reading of embodiment. This is a reading of stepping into your fullness, your empowerment, your gifts. And so what is it you desire? I used to do manifestation workshops, and sometimes still do, and I would just ask people like, what do you want? And I was always shocked at how when I would ask people what they want, I would get a blank look back. They'd never asked themselves that for whatever reason. Their lives were on autopilot. Maybe they were, you know, married, I don't know. And they were just kind of living in a certain way where they'd never asked themselves what they truly wanted for themselves. So build strength is coming up. And even though this woman does literally look like she's in a workout exercise environment building strength, this is both mental, emotional, and physical. So have you been spending too much time perhaps in a sedentary kind of energy? How and in what ways could you build strength mentally, emotionally, and physically? So just let that be a question for you. Where and in what ways do I need to build strength? For some of you, it might just be like, yes, this is my sign. I need to get back to that class. I was just under the weather, or I'm recovering from an injury. I'm ready. This is a sign to step back into the physical space. Could even mean yoga, or it could mean an actual physical exercise class. Or maybe you've just been consuming a lot of media and news, and this is like letting that go and returning to the strength of what you already know in your heart and in your soul. All right, I'm asking for some more self-care for you during this time, during this new moon, this time of introspection. I do not recommend getting really intense and doing strength building things right in the new moon. Let that be something for you to feel into, to think about, but maybe next week is when you step more into this as we move toward the next full moon, where all of this amazingness is aligning for you, if you choose it, right? We have to choose it. We can hear the messages. We can know the path. It's a whole different thing to walk the path, and it's a whole nother thing to walk the path and embody the path. Make a vision board. Beautiful. So that's a great idea for you. Just a reminder, in this day and age where we don't have a lot of magazines and things to clip and cut, some people create a vision board in Pinterest. Some people copy and paste pictures and put them in their phone notes. Of course, I think it's so wonderful to do it naturally and organically. I think we spend enough time on computers and devices and things, but there are other ways to make a vision board than collecting or finding magazines and cutting them out. Dance, I love this. So movement. And look at this. This is almost like the opposite right here. It almost looks like she's in a dance, but it looks like she's in a falling, chaotic, overwhelmed dance. And now up here, these beings are just so happy. They're in joy states. They're celebrating. And so you've all heard that quote, right? Like, if you fall, make it part of the dance. So let your body move. I know that the dance word frequently brings up uncomfortableness, like I don't like to dance. For a lot of people, I know many of you love to dance, but think outside the box. It doesn't mean dancing exactly. It could mean shaking your body. It could mean jumping up and down, for 60 seconds. There's lots of ways to vigorously move your body in ways it doesn't necessarily move without calling it dance. That said, I love the word dance, so it's a great reminder. All right, healing the divine masculine. Wow, that's a powerful card. I love that we had, this is where you can't really make this up. How often do these cards come up? Not that often. So the fact that we have the divine feminine and now healing the divine masculine is, to me, really super interesting. And I think that this healing the divine masculine is what we're working on globally, right? We've lived in these patriarchal societies for a very long time, and what I see and what I feel and the guides and things that I connect to, we're moving away from that. This planet was originally more matriarchal, and it's not really necessarily about hierarchy or women or men should be the ones, but when we heal the divine masculine, then there's less control and there's more love, more support, more protection. So this is also a question for you, even though I say, well, this is kind of what's happening in the world. We all, even if you're a woman watching this, you have the divine masculine within you. Have you been pushing too hard and trying to make, a business work, or have you been a little bit too projecting and need to just bring it all in and return to some nurturing? Because again, this is all about the new moon, and the new moon is an introspective time. A lot of times we do shadow work, we spend time in quiet, we're planting seeds. We're not necessarily in like super loud action-based activities. And so maybe this is just an inquiry question for you. What in me, what parts of my divine masculine are being asked to have some healing and some integration? So let's choose another from this deck. Obviously, it's got Egyptian vibes. This is a deck about Isis. Okay, abundance of Sothis. I do not know what that word means. Stellar blessings of the celestial goddess of abundance. Wow, that's beautiful. So I'm going to put that down here. And so this is where this card was going anyway. But again, we have this really beautiful path here. Just a reminder that energy is organizing, trust, and be patient. Slow it down, go for it. And this is just saying the abundance is definitely there for you. Use your instincts, tune into the masculine within you, and healing the divine masculine, by the way, what I'm hearing the guide saying, because for some of you, it's about bringing the divine masculine in. That's a great thing that I need to say, because not everyone is like needing to like heal this or transform this or calm this, energy down within them. Some of you, maybe you've squashed it out and you're being asked to heal the divine masculine by bringing it more into your energy field. Like after this new moon, call in the divine masculine to help you take off and do some of these things that you would like to do. All right, I feel like one more final tarot card from the deck we started with, just to kind of summarize this new moon reading as a whole. And then we just have a few affirmations to kind of bless the reading. 9 of Cups. I love this card. This card keeps coming out of this deck for me. I am not surprised. This 9 of Cups is all about forward momentum and a blessed future. The Cups is about emotions. This is actually a sun, like I already read about this card last week. That's actually the sun out there in the multiverse, and she's fully lit from behind. She has this energy behind her. And again, she's kind of resting here for a moment. She's allowing everything to take root, take shape. She's not in a hurry. She's not pushing. She's not forcing. She's not in this, she's not in this pushing, masculine, forcing energy. She's just paused. And see, this is what's going to counterbalance this energy you might have been feeling. This is who you are. This is where you're going. This is where you're meant to go. So have faith. Less is more. Slow it down. Don't be so in your head. Move your body. Build the strength. Trust your instincts, right? It all always comes together at the end. So let's just pull, they said 3. We're going to pull 3 of these cute little affirmations just to finish the reading for this new moon in Pisces. Let's see. My world is filled with wonderful things. Yes. So if you've been feeling that snake-like energy, you're too focused on what's wrong with the world, right? And it's easy because there's so much going on. This is a time of exposure. The world is awakening to the truth of some of the dark things that a lot of people don't want to look at or didn't know about. And where your focus goes, attention, where attention goes, energy flows. What you focus on grows. So what is so wonderful about your world? Because there is so much in your world that is so wonderful.